So 1 and 2, not bad, just a little. Ciao and buonasera. I've got 3 things to say. The first thing is that I'm going to be cooking some lovely conchiglioni stuffed with ricotta and spinach and mushrooms. The second thing is that I will be cooking some mushrooms stuffed with ricotta, spinach and mushrooms. And the third thing is that Julie's washed my hat and I can wear it again. And as it is a bit of a miserable day, I thought it'd be good to bring a little bit of sunshine in my kitchen. What do you think, Julie?
So you're going to cheer everybody else up but me, because I've got to look at you in this
Yes.
hat.
Well, people have said when
Don't
we asked
worry,
the question
everybody,
that they
I'll
would
get
like
rid
me
of
to
it.
keep it.
I will get rid of it.
No. They said that they want me to keep it. So there you go. So I've got 3 beautiful large mushrooms and I'm going to be stuffing a couple, but I'll cook with one. So I'll use this one for cooking, for the filling, and I'm going to be stuffing these ones. So the first thing I'll do, I'll got my oven on and it's at 200 degrees and I'll just remove the middle part of the mushrooms. They come off very, very easily. And again, I will be taking the peel off, but don't you worry, I'm not going to get rid of it. That will be part of the filling. And I'm not sure why, but this is one of those very, very, very satisfying little jobs, removing the peel from the mushroom. Perfect, they're ready. So I'll pop them in an oven dish, which I've got here ready. And as they are, I'll pop them in the oven for 15 minutes. I'm not going to put anything at all in them, just as they are. I'll go on with a little simple pasta sauce next. I'll start by crushing a clove of garlic, put it inside my little pot, and I'll add a little olive oil. On the hob, my garlic is sizzling away and I'm going to add some passata. Ooh, blimey, that's noisy. I'll put a little water in here so that I can rinse it and don't waste any. Right, great, my sauce is started to boil, so I'll place the lid on and I'll turn it down and I'll leave it to simmer now for a good 10 minutes, literally. I will not touch it, I promise. So back to my mushroom, and I'm going to be chopping it in little pieces. It doesn't matter how big or small you do them, as long as you chop it. And I will also be chopping the peel and the stalk I removed from the other 2, so that they all get nice and small.
Oh, we're going to include the skin from the ones.
Yep, no waste.
No waste.
New clove of garlic. Again, I'll remove the skin as well from this one. But with this one, I'm going to chop into tiny, tiny little pieces. Red onion, medium or small, or white onion, whatever you might have available. Like I did with the mushrooms and with the onion, I'll chop into tiny little pieces.
Try not to cry. Don't cry. Don't cry, love. It's
I'm about to
okay.
cry. I was going to say, you can also use a shallot, by the way. That would be slightly sweeter and milder, but not much difference. Little frying pan, olive oil, and I'll start with the garlic and the onion first, and I'll move on the hob. So the onion and the garlic have been sizzling now for a good couple of minutes, and I'll add the mushrooms. And keep the temperature quite high. I've got on number 7 at the moment, so that the mushrooms release their water very quickly. And this now will cook for a good 3-4 minutes, and then I will take them off the heat. And as I mentioned, 3-4 minutes, they're done, and I will remove them from the heat and I'll leave them to cool down now. 15 minutes on and the mushrooms are ready, or partly cooked. And if you look, they have released some water and they've shrunk, so they are perfect. And I'll leave them to cool down a little while alongside everything else. Water is boiling, my conchiglioni go in, but be careful, try not to break them. And they will only be going in for about 4 minutes, by the way. I only want to partly cook them. So in the meantime, while the pasta cooks, I can put the rest of the ingredients together. So I'll start with the mushrooms and the onion and they go in a bowl. If you look, it's still steaming, so they're a little bit warm, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to grate in a little nutmeg now. Quantities to taste, but the nutmeg will give everything the lovely nutty flavor, especially with the mushrooms, so highly recommended. Here I've got some spinach, which these are frozen balls, which I have defrosted naturally, and I'm now draining any excess water. Little tip, by the way, what I've done in the past, when it's been a last minute sort of decision to use spinach, I have put them in a bowl with warm water and I defrost within 5 minutes. And if you look, there's quite a lot of water there, and I can add it to my mushrooms.
Cool them down as well, won't it?
It will, yes. And to make sure that everything does cool down quickly, I will mix them together now. I mentioned ricotta and spinach and mushrooms, so ricotta goes in next, and here it goes. I will add it in. By the way, these things here, you know what they are?
I do.
Do you want to explain?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a thing for candles. So
they are...
I seem to require candles in lovely glass jars and things, so we always keep those.
Julie washes them, put them in the dishwasher, and then we can use them to hold
I didn't put that one in the dishwasher because it's got pretty gold on it.
We wash them though.
Yeah, this is another, oh God, this is another one actually, that one you're holding, that's got... That's the
yes,
same.
that's another one here, I'll show you on this camera.
Yeah.
But they come really handy.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, I'll mix my ricotta in now, and everything is beginning to take a lovely shape and beautiful color as well. And my sauce is also ready, so what I'll do next, let's have a look. Ooh, smells lovely.
Little facial, there we go.
Little facial, yes. I will add a little fresh basil. I'll mix it in and I'll place the lid on, and I will leave it now for 5 minutes until I'm ready to do the pasta. And back to my spinach and ricotta and mushrooms. I will add next some Parmesan cheese, a couple of handfuls. And I'll mix it for one final time, and it will be ready for my filling of the pasta and my mushrooms. And I'll start with the mushrooms first, so I'll get a good big teaspoon of my paste and put it on top, and that's the other one. I'll put them on one side and I'll do the pasta next. As mentioned, I drained it after 4 minutes and that's been cooling down for a couple of minutes now, so it is also safe to touch. And I've got here a suitable container because the pasta sauce is not a lot and I want it to rise, so I'll go one which is big enough for my shells. And very simply, one by one, using a teaspoon, I'll just fill them up and start placing them inside my oven dish. Now, I have counted them already, so I know they're gonna fit, so I would suggest that you do something similar. Make sure that your container is big enough to hold them as well, of course. And I will be cooking about 100 grams of pasta, and mostly because the filling will also add weight, but we got the mushrooms, so we don't think that we need more than that. But of course you can do more if you wish. And we're nearly there. Here is my sauce, and I will be now pouring it inside my oven dish, ideally in between the pasta and the edge of the dish, like this. And as the sauce is quite liquidy, it will continue cooking the pasta in the oven, but also it will get underneath the pasta and everything will cook at the same time. The reason why I'm not just pouring it in is because I'm not sure if I'm going to be using all of the sauce, so I might not, we'll see. And as predicted, there is more than what I need, so I'll stop here, and I got a little left. Maybe I'll do myself a little bruschetta tomorrow for lunch.
That would be nice. You sure you don't want to make some of those for this evening to go alongside it?
I have sliced some mozzarella here, one bowl of mozzarella, so I'll get a couple of the larger pieces and I'll put on top of my mushrooms here, so 1 and 2, and the rest of the mozzarella can go on top of my pasta. What's next, Julie?
Oh, I'm guessing some Parmesan cheese maybe.
Absolutely, so one last sprinkle of Parmesan cheese on top.
He says that's last, but I bet there'll be some basil involved.
At the end, and a little also here, it would be a shame not to, wouldn't it?
Be rude not to, wouldn't it?
And the oven is still on from earlier, but I turned it down to 180 as it is a fan assisted oven, and I'll plonk everything in for about 20 to 25 minutes. So I'll see you then and I'll let you know the cooking time when I finish. Ciao ciao for now.
Plonk? I'll plonk them in.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
And we are ready. I cooked them for a further 4 minutes, by the way, so total 28, 29 minutes, mostly because I wanted the top to be lovely and brown. As you can see, everything looks lovely and caramelized. But I think after 25 minutes would also be okay.
Have you forgotten anything? Have you forgotten anything, dear?
Hey?
Forgotten anything?
Have I forgotten anything?
Yeah.
Oh! I took it off.
God forbid.
Thank you.
He had a bit of a hot sweat, everybody.
How could I?
It doesn't help you've got that jumper on.
I know, but it's cold. Now I've got a little confession to make. Although I've made stuffed mushrooms before and I've done something similar with pasta before, it's the first time I cooked them together, so I'm having to think how to serve it properly. But I've thought about it, and I'll just move this out of the way. And I think I'll start with mushroom.
They do look super, actually, don't they?
Yes, they do look very nice actually, and I'll just go underneath with this kitchen instrument,
Tongs.
and prong them.
Well, in England we call them tongs.
I don't know what they're called in Italian, if that's what you're asking.
No, yes,
I've got
indeed.
no idea. Pinza, most probably
Pinza.
pinza.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the pasta has been sitting there for a good minute, and I'm gonna go for it. So we've been debating how to get this out, so I'm gonna go with this little spatula first. Yeah, not bad.
You happy with that?
Almost. Yeah, there it is. And here's another one. They're beginning to pop out one by one. I made 14 altogether, so that'll be 7 each. Let's do one final arrangement. And I'll scoop a little bit of the sauce and I'll put it on top of each conchiglione. Just like this. I was going to say you could actually add some meat to this at some point. I'm not sure when, most probably when you're doing the sauce if you wanted before you put the passata, but that would spoil it. I think I would stick to a vegetarian one. It's absolutely wonderful as it is. You might have spotted that I have not put any salt onto anything. That is on purpose because there is quite a bit of Parmesan cheese and that's quite salty. And I'm not going to put any salt on the pasta, but I'll put a little bit on my mushroom, just a little. But one thing I will be putting, and I'll be quite generous, is pepper. And very optional, but I'm going to sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese on top of each conchiglione. There, and so on. Just a little.
It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
And also a little bit on top of my mushroom. And there it is, it's ready. I'll test the mushroom first. But also, let me show you the middle. There, isn't that wonderful? Anyway, enough of looking. See what it tastes like.
Absolutely.
It's really gorgeous. And the nutmeg adds a lovely autumn spice to it, which is really, really good. Let me try a conchiglione next. And I'm gonna get some cheese as well. Very hot. Gorgeous, really nice. Actually, you get to taste the spinach more, funny enough, in the pasta because although there is mushroom in there, the mushroom with the mushrooms clearly they take over, but in the pasta you can get the spinach and the ricotta more. It's a lovely meal, it's all in one, and really gorgeous. Thank you for watching. Do make it, honestly. It's dead easy, it didn't take long at all, and really, really flavorful. Arrivederci, grazie, and ciao ciao.